This is a follow-up to the comprehension examination series we have been treating. So this segment is all about comprehension, like I said earlier, and let's look at some of the causes of loss of marks in WAEC and NECO comprehension. What are those things that can make you lose marks when attempting the questions on comprehension? Number one, writing two answers to a question. This will make you to lose some marks. You're expected to give one answer to a question. You can only get full marks where you give two answers and both of them are correct. So make sure you adhere to the instruction and make sure you act accordingly. Two, giving wrong synonyms to replace underlined words and phrases. Where words or expressions are expected to be given to replace words or expressions in the passage, the words or expression used as replacement must fit in perfectly in terms of meaning and collocation. So make sure you do not give a wrong synonyms. Make sure you do not give a wrong phrase or underlined words. It fits in. Like I said in my previous video, you have to make sure when you take it back to that same word that you have chosen as a synonym, when you take it back to the passage, it fits in appropriately. Three, another point that can make you lose marks, of course, is grammatical and expression errors. Your grammatical and expression errors, be careful of how you align your sentences. Make sure they are well put together and free from error. Fourth one is using different grammatical form and tense form from the form of the word or phrase to be substituted or replaced. You're expected to use the same grammatical form as the given word or phrase when asked to explain the meaning of a word or phrase. For example, when you are asked to substitute a word or phrase in place of some underlined words, you are expected to use the same tense. If the word to be replaced is noun, make sure the replacement must also be a noun. If the word to be replaced is in past tense, make sure the word to replace it must be in past tense. For example, if you are asked to use the word realized, make sure the opposite word could be learnt, discovered, found, or knew. Make sure the word you are replacing is also in past tense. The last one is giving answers out of context of the passage. I said this in my previous video. You will not score any mark for writing answers which are not contained in the facts or information provided in the passage. Put your opinion, your personal opinions aside. Do not impute facts or answers that are not in the passage. Let's go over this comprehension exercise and answers. Read the passages below carefully and then answer the questions on them. I will read, then we'll look at the answers. This will serve as a model when answering yours. Returning home after a decade and a half abroad, a geography master remained incurably addicted to foreign ways and ideas for years after landing here. He would forever stick to his theory of Africans suffering from a curse inflicted on them by the Almighty God for some heinous sins committed centuries ago. He would, in support of this theory, ask listeners, why would a mosquito inflict deadly malaria on us, whereas the British mosquito does not bite? Why aren't there poisonous snakes in Britain, whereas here most snakes are deadly? Why should the deadly sickle cell disease be peculiar to the black race? Of course, he hardly waits for answers to these and similar questions before jumping to the same inevitable conclusion. Please pay attention to the underlined words there. However, he met his match one day when a new student joined the class and heard the litany we were used to. The new boy calmly said, "Sir, I happen to know a few white men who suffer from the sickle cell disease. Some are Italians and some are Spanish. The mosquito is equally deadly in India, Southeast Asian countries, and South America. The United States and some other South American countries have their deadly snakes. And sir, I know many white men, some of them British, who will prefer a brilliant sunshine to their horribly cold winter. And he sat down. I had never before that day seen a master so consumed with anger. He directed a burning look at the poor boy who had no answer to this new battle. Without as much as saying a single word, the master stalked out of the classroom. Needless to say, our anger was turned on the new boy, who had decided to rock the boat without taking the time to sound the water. A delegation was sent to the master to apologize to him. He was appeased, but we all noticed something rather unusual thereafter. Never again did he dwell on the issue of Africans being the accursed people. Let's look at the questions under the comprehension passage. A. What point of view is the geography master fond of advancing? B. Mention the 3 arguments he uses to support his view. C. What extra argument did the new boy offer after countering each of the master's points? D. Why do you think the master fought back with his look rather than with the further arguments? E. There's a quoted sentence there, which is a figure of speech. It says, rock the boat. Under E, we have Roman figure 1. What figure of speech is this expression? 2. What does it mean as it is used in the passage? Then let's go back to the F questions. Who had no answer to this new battle? Of course, this excerpt is picked from the passage. Like I said, you go back to where it is picked from, and it is picked from the last paragraph. What grammatical name is given to the above expression as it is used in the passage? 2. What is its function in the passage? For G now, for each of the following words or phrases, find another word or phrase that means the same and can replace it as it is used in the passage. Addicted to, heinous, inevitable, brilliant, stalked. This is taken from 1997 SSC June examination paper. Now let's look at the answers. A says, what point of view is a geography master fond of advancing? A, that Africans are an accursed people, or God is punishing Africans for sins they committed long ago. Or in Africa, the mosquito causes deadly malaria, whereas in Britain, it doesn't bite or cause malaria. Please take time to look at the answers so it will serve as a guide to you when you are attempting yours. B, mention the 3 arguments he uses to support his view. The 3 arguments, the 3 arguments are: 1, in Africa, the mosquito causes malaria, deadly malaria, whereas in Britain it doesn't bite or cause malaria, according to the passage. 2, the snakes in Africa are deadly or poisonous, but those in Britain are harmless. 3, the sickle cell disease is peculiar to the black race. Please make sure your points, your facts are also backed up in the passage. Do not bring in your personal opinion or what you feel should be the answer. C, the C question says, what extra argument did the new boy offer after countering each of the master's points? Many white men prefer the African sunshine or weather to their cold winter. D, why do you think the master fought back with his look rather than with further arguments? He knew that the boy's points were valid. Or you could write, he had no answer to the boy's argument. E, rock the boat. Metaphor is the figures of speech. What does it mean? It means to disrupt the class or disturb the peace of the class or upset the teacher. F, we are moving to grammatical name now. This is a relative clause, a non-defining relative clause. Like I said, we have pointers to this. We have pointers. The relative clause, how is it introduced? It's introduced using who most times. We have the who, that's a pointer. So this is a relative clause. Where it is picked from the last paragraph. Who had no answer to this new battle? Gives us the second question, says, what is its function? You go back to the preceding sentence in the passage, which is the last paragraph. Of course, how is a relative clause, which is also called the adjectival clause. Of course, it modifies the noun in the preceding, in the main clause. So what is the noun in the main clause? It's talking about who? A boy. It gives more information about a boy who is arguing or trying to state his or her opinion concerning the teacher's argument. So, or coordinates the main clause. So it gives more information about the boy, or it modifies the boy in the main clause. It gives more information about the boy. G. So the synonyms now, we have addicted to, you can use used to, fond of, given to. Heinous, another word, terrible, very wicked, grievous, serious, outrageous. Inevitable, you can use unavoidable, obvious, unavoidable, obvious, predictable, invariable, inescapable. Brilliant, we have pleasant, bright, and warm. Stalked, the phrase that can be used. Remember, if you can't actually get a word, you can use a phrase, but make sure it fits in perfectly in the present tense or in the past, depending on how it is used in the passage. Walked stiffly or stumped. Walked stiffly or stumped. If you are yet to like this, if you are yet to like this video, please do well to like, share this broadcast to intending students who are about to sit for this exam, and also subscribe. Let this video go round. Please do well to leave your comments in the comment section. Till I meet you again in the next examination series, keep learning and keep being the best version of yourself. Bye.